Assalamualaikum. Good morning again, everyone. I'd like to welcome our speakers for today and also all participants to the winning interview webinar. So I can see Encik Airul Ikma is here, looking great with the cap on. Thank you for joining us this morning, and we would like to have the videos of our speakers on, so we will get to know our speakers better. And I would like to remind everyone to alert your friends. Waalaikumsalam, Encik Airul.
Sorry, just want to check. Time audio jelas ke tak?
It is now, tapi apparently macam ada alert yang the internet is not that okay from your end.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I check you guys? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Very loud and clear.
All right, great.
So how should I address you? Sally?
Just call me Sally.
Sally, okay.
Santai je hari ni, okay?
Okay, boleh.
Hi guys. Puan Sally, Encik Azim dan Encik Aikrul Ikmal. Hopefully you will give a beautiful session. Okay, thank you.
Mama. Hey, inshallah they get it.
Assalamualaikum to the speakers here. My name is Dr.
Salam, Dr. Khairul.
Yeah, from Salam, but I'm from my kampung in Muar, basically. Okay, but however, I wish you guys a very smooth program today. Hopefully everything goes fine and we can benefit the student. Thank you to all speakers. That you guys could spend your Sunday, very special Sunday, and to share your experience with the students. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Okay, inshallah.
Thank you.
Encik Ahmad Azimuddin, yeah, you here? Okay, I can see you.
Yeah.
Very beautiful background.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? All right.
Yes, very clearly. Encik Airul Ikma, are you okay? Because I can't really see you from here.
Just for your mention.
Okay. So let me check. Currently, we have around 83 participants.
My mobile.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what network.
Okay. No worries. So tentatively we should have started by now. Tak apa, kejap. Kita tunggu a few people to be in kejap. Let me check. 89. Because based on our data, there will be around 100 plus participants joining us today. Yeah, so quite a number juga yang akan join kita. They are all, majority of them are final semester student or at least final year student. And this webinar also has been open to all, so we probably should be expecting some outsiders, so to say. I mean, non-FSG students or non-FSG members will be joining us also today. So, and this is also being broadcasted live on FSG UiTM Shah. So those who are having problems joining us through WebEx, you can also join us through YouTube. Yes, you can share the links. Probably the committee members can also share the link of YouTube here in the chat box, so they can get access to it. The name of our YouTube is FSG UiTM Shah. Yeah, FSG UiTM Shah.
Assalamualaikum. Good morning, everyone.
Salam Prozana.
Yeah. Nice to see the speakers here very early. Thank you so much for your time. This is a Sunday. Most of us will be very, packed with activities, family activities. It's so nice that you take your time to be with us. I really appreciate that. And we as faculty members are very, very delighted to have you on board. Thank you very much for your time. Encik Ahmad dan Miss Sally.
Yeah, thanks for having us as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll wait for another speaker, yeah?
No worries.
Sure.
Worries.
All right then, speak to you later. And thank you for the rest of you as well, our students, they are on board. Thank you for your time. There'll be a lot to be benefited here, yeah? Thank you.
Thank you, Prozana. That's our TD PGIA. Yeah. Kita ada Dr. Khairul juga kat sini, coordinator of GIA, and also we have Dr. Khairul Anwar Jantan, kita punya president of alumni. So the number of participants apparently escalated quite quickly. Now we have 120 or 118 participants joining us. Just some housekeeping announcements. Yeah, I would like to request the kind of operation to always mute your audio. You can on your video. It is okay. And then if you want to say anything, if you want to speak up, if you want to pose any questions, you want to have a chat with our speakers, then you can always, turn your microphone on and speak up. But also, we would like to encourage you to drop your questions in the chat box. My friends here will help me. Kan? Tolong saya. I might be lost because we will be swarming with questions later, I'm sure. So I hope my friends can help me with, collecting the questions and get it forwarded to me. So later at the end of sessions, we might be spending around 15-20 minutes for Q&A. Yeah. Hopefully, we will have enough time for a great discussion. I believe this webinar will benefit everyone, especially our final year and final semester students. So we have a very great line of panelists here. So saya harap participants semua ni akan ambil kesempatan dan menanyakan soalan-soalan yang berkaitan. Yeah, during my time I haven't had this chance. Yeah, that was 15 or 16 years ago. So it's very good to have this kind of platform. So we'd like to thank you PGIA, Professor Sana, the team, and my friends also for for having this platform created for our final semester students. Okay. So I have to mute everyone sekejap. Yeah, nanti you can speak up. So Dr. Khairul, can we start now or do you have to wait for another 3 minutes? I'm waiting for some cues here.
Yeah. You can start.
Okay, thank you very much. Are we live now on the YouTube, if I may ask? Can anyone check that? Takut nanti ada yang termiss pula. Kesian keluar kat YouTube tu.
Yes, you are.
Dah ya? Okay, let me check the speakers. I can see Puan Sally, Encik Azim ke? Saya panggil Encik Azim ke?
Just panggil Encik Azim je.
Encik Azim. Encik Azim from food program ya?
No, from Applied Chem lah.
Applied Chem. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. My senior ni lupa. Okay. Applied Chem, Pasal pun Applied Chem.
Yeah.
Yang from food tech ni Encik Airul Ikmar. Am I right? Saya panggil Airul ke Ikmar ni? Encik Airul dengar saya ke? Because I can see tanda amaran kat tu macam your internet is not that okay from the other end. So hopefully we can get in touch with you. Okay. Okay. Now I'm officially starting the webinar. Yeah? Are we good to go? So macam Puan Sally cakap tadi, ni santai je, memang santai pun. Yeah? So feel free to, to chip in, to give questions in the chat box, and then stop me if I talk too much because that's always my tendency. I could speak even longer than the speaker, which is shouldn't. So always stop me when I do that. So we have a very great line of speakers today. So Assalamualaikum, a very good morning, everyone. Welcome to FSG Alumni webinar. This is an inaugural webinar that we are having this year. It is called Win Job Interviews Post-COVID19 Pandemic. A very, very timely and relevant topic, especially for the final year and final semester student. And in fact, I myself, even though I have already secured my job here as a lecturer, but I think this is good also for me to, to know something out of this platform so I can share the tips, the do's and don'ts with my students later. In fact, my nephews are also searching for jobs currently. So this is very, very timely. So that's why we have decided to open this webinar, the platform, to everyone, not only to FSG students, because we would like to help as many people as possible to get their dream job, so to speak. So this session will be happening for 1.5 hours. Pukul 10 sampai 11.30. This will be conducted in both languages, Bahasa and also English. So feel free to speak whatever language you want, as long as it is commandable and understandable by everyone, of course. And we would like to ask your cooperation to always mute your microphone. You can turn on your video if you are comfortable doing that. And also, you can always ask questions in the chat box to the speakers later. My friends, inshallah, please help me, kawan-kawan, collect the questions and get them forward to me. At the end of the session, we're going to be spending around 15-20 minutes for Q&A, inshallah. And we will get this webinar as interactive as possible. So now it's time for me to introduce our speakers. Yeah. So first kita ada a long and very good CV. I cannot read all. I cannot read all the CVs, but first we have Encik Airul Ikmar Limin. I can see from here Encik Airul wearing blue jersey gitu kan. Encik Airul Ikmar Limin, he is an operations director, now currently attached at Carry Ingredients Malaysia Sdn Berhad. He is an alumni of food technology from our dearly Faculty of Applied Sciences. So probably we can give a big hand to our speaker, Encik Airul Ikmar Limin. Yeah, thank you for joining us this morning. As Professor Zana has mentioned just now, this is Sunday morning, so definitely you are busy with your family matters and personal matters, cycling and all. Yeah, are you cycling there, Encik Airul? Nampak macam pakai baju ready untuk bersukan je. Okay. Encik Airul, if you can hear me clearly, I would like to have your response. Probably you can say hi to our beautiful audiences today.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can. Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah. So actually kita pergi pantai ni
Tapi macam tak berapa nak nampak sangat. Kita boleh dengar tapi tak apa nampak sangat. It's okay if you turn off your video for now while we are searching for the better internet connection, but tak boleh nampak sangat. Dia macam ada pusing sikit tu. Well, ni lah new norms kan. Ada je benda yang kita kadang-kadang tak expect. Tak apa, it's okay. So I'll get back to you later when we are asking questions nanti boleh, Encik Airul? Because apparently your voice macam backing up sikit. Pecah-pecah sikit. Okay, next we have, thank you very much. And next we have one Sally, Sherlina Majni. Am I pronouncing your names correctly?
Yeah.
So, nama Puan Sally?
Yeah, just call me Sally.
Sally, okay. So, she is the Human Resource Officer. Saya tengok CV saya macam pelik juga. Ni graduate applied camp kan. And now working as HR macam, okay, this is interesting. Very, very interesting because I don't have many friends working as HR. Maksudnya kawan-kawan saya pun applied chemistry juga kan. So, probably something that we can get benefits from. Nak tanya perjalanan Puan Sally dalam kerjaya dia ni. Kan? So, macam mana dia tiba-tiba pindah track ni kan? Applied chemist, tiba-tiba jadi HR officer.
Boleh.
Okay, so thank you for joining us this morning. Yeah, we are really, delighted to have you in our webinar. And last but not least, we have Encik Ahmad Azimuddin Syahari. Dalam poster ni macam tak berambut kan, tapi orangnya handsome ni, rambut lebat lagi, okey lagi. So this probably
Yang tanya rambut tu baru balik umrah tu.
balik umrah, alhamdulillah. Okay, and interestingly, he is also a human resource manager at Naga National Berhad and juga applied chemistry alumni ni. So this is something that very interesting for us to discuss on ya. Macam mana dua orang chemistry bertukar haluan dan kerjaya menjadi human resource manager ya. So they are very the right people that we have today. So memang HR manager dah menentukan whether you get partially lah ya, whether you dapat ke tak dapat kerja tu. So we have the right people here to ask kenapa agaknya kita tak dapat kerja and why we are having difficulties to to land a job, dan kenapa dan apa pula challenges that we are having now. Now post-COVID-19 pandemic, and in Selangor and Kuala Lumpur apparently the cases are not unresolved, makin tinggi, and dan menjadi sukar lah. And of course we all have to agree that this has affected so many people. One unofficial source that I read online saying that around 900,000 people have been retrenched, and kita ada juga graduate yang baru graduate and looking for job. Is a very, very stiff and competitive job market nowadays. So probably probably we can have opinions from these experts on this matter. Okay, I have a few last questions here. Just few simple questions. Probably we can start with Encik Airul Ikma. Boleh ke?
Boleh.
Boleh. Oh, sekarang sangat clear.
Okay, sekarang berapa login? I 3 device sekarang di depan saya.
Oh, good. Cuma Airul, if I may request, can you off dual speaker untuk dua device, satu je audio yang tak dia jadi macam echoing here. We can hear three voices here.
Betul.
Which kind okay, boleh. Better, very much better. Okay. So as I said, Cik Airul Ikmani from Carry Ingredients, I have friends working there. Chemist ke apa tak ingat. Dia pun food analyst juga. Puan Farah Syazwani ke? Okay, and then Cik Airul is an operations director. So I have read the CV, but let the speaker himself speak, and then let the audiences know more. Cik Airul sihat pagi ni
Alhamdulillah, very well.
Yeah, boleh dengar.
Because my connection is very bad here, so I was trying to dial into few device.
Tak apa. Is this
tengah holiday ni dengan my family, so that's why.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for your time. Yeah, sangat-sangat.
No problem.
Okay, so yeah. So probably you can I forgot to introduce myself. Yes, sebenarnya ada kawan mesej saya. Boleh tak introduce yourself? Yeah. Saya Syarul Nizam bin Ahmad. I'm working as a lecturer here, teaching chemistry, and I'm applied chemistry alumni. Yeah, 2008. Yeah, my final year in UiTM 2008. Yeah, saya baru je kerja dengan UiTM ni, baru 2 tahun. So ni kerja dengan dengan banyak macam tempat lah yang lain-lain. But this is not my session. So today we have food technology alumni. So probably the very right people to talk about the topic. Yeah. So that Encik Hikmah probably yelah, kita kadang-kadang considering that they are all newbies, rookie, and dia baru nak masuk alam pekerjaan, so tak tahu banyak benda. Because I've been there and tak tahu, memang clueless. I've been unguided, tak tahu. So probably agak-agaknya soalan paling basic lah sebenarnya, what we should do. Kita kena buat apa sebelum interview tu? That's a very general question. Probably we can start with. Yes, silakan.
Okay. Alright. Probably before I start with that question, I probably introduce myself lah.
Yeah, please.
Nama saya Hikmah bin Limin. Saya gradua daripada Fakulti Sains Gunaan, program Teknologi Makanan. Graduate back in 2005. So basically, I started my career off in Kerry 2005. Joined Kerry Ingredients as a graduate, as a graduate trainee for about 7 years, and then I left Kerry and joined Abed Manufacturing Singapore in Tuas facility for about 2 years before Kerry called back, and then I joined Kerry back until now lah sekarang. So yes, so sebanyak dengan on myself. Like I hope that is loud. Saya harap saya punya suara jelas
Okay, sangat jelas. Boleh, sangat jelas.
Okay, so back to the question daripada Dr. Syarul tadi. Apa persediaan seorang graduate apabila menghadapi interview? Honestly, probably I can, probably in this session, throughout this session, I give anything that's related to my experience rather than a textbook answer or anything standard answer that you can find from Google or from any of the search engine. So based on the experience throughout my career, I also interview few of graduates, and also being a graduate, going to the interview, I probably have one or two things to share with everybody, everyone here. Tentang persediaan yang kita boleh lakukan apabila kita datang menghadiri interview. Kebanyakan ni saya boleh lihat ada beberapa interviewee ataupun graduate yang datang interview, saya boleh kategorikan dalam beberapa kategori lah. Kita boleh lihat ada yang come overly prepared, ada yang come dengan well prepared, ada yang come dengan totally under prepared. Jadi perkara pertama yang kita kena ada sebelum datang interview itu, kita kena tahu sendiri apa yang kita perlukan ataupun apa yang kita nak, what we want through that interview session. And most of the time I don't see a lot of interviewees came with this kind of mentally prepared or they know what they want during that interview session. Mainly apa yang mereka nak adalah nak datang interview, nak lepaskan 1 hour ataupun 1.5 hour interview session, and then with the hope that they success during the interview session without understanding the science behind that job, the job description or the job requirement, and I think first thing first, you perlu faham tentang job scope ataupun background of that company, and also background of that vacancy ataupun position that you are hunting for. So I think that is probably the first few things that you have to be prepared of.
Yeah. Okay. So you have so many years in the industry, yeah, Encik Airul, what I can see here, 15 years in Malaysia and also Singapore. So probably you can share with us your experience of your own interview. So what basically soalan-soalan yang macam apa agaknya because technical. Dulu I always wondering tau, should we go prepared with some knowledge on, you cakap scientific ke ataupun nak tanya pasal karakter kita ke, tak tahu nak test apa. So probably
Okay, let's agree to one thing lah. Let's agree to one thing. Sama ada kita daripada FUTEC ataupun daripada what do you call that program, chemistry, applied chemistry, I think there's no university that are prepared for a certain organization or a certain company, right? So for you to think, or for anybody to think that, oh, I've already struggled for 5 years, already put in my best for 5 years. I'm a gold medalist student. So when I came out and I go to the interview, I'm ready for this company. And if the company doesn't hire me, it's too bad for them. No, it's not about that. Because I would say, like, across this few years experience of mine, I rasa probably 15 to 20% je application of those learning that we've obtained throughout that 4 or 5 years in universities applies to, I mean during the career. Most of the time, I hear echo lah, sorry. So most of the time, basically, it is a learning process throughout the working environment. Me as an interviewee, I normally would like to see the person character, the person values. So I think most important part that you need to bring to the interview, apart from your qualification and apart from your knowledge, is your values and your self-own values and your own character, because that's really basically how an interview can judge you on. I think for you to be to hook up on your academic success ataupun your academic knowledge, I guess that you probably has passed that first screening. That's why they call you for interview, and you see you're more or less you qualified for that interview session. So that's why I think they basically call you for interview. And during the interview session, it's mostly to see how's your character feel to the organization value. What's in you that you can add more further to that particular organisation. Apa dalam diri kita yang kita boleh bawa ataupun kita boleh sesuaikan dalam organisasi tersebut. Secara amnya, setiap interviewer dia ada berlainan karakter ataupun berlainan priority. Ada yang datang kalau zaman 70-an, 80-an, dia datang dengan know all attitude. But I think there's also certain interviewer yang would like to calm you down, would like to make sure that you're relaxed, so that they can judge the best out of you, so that they can get the best out of you during the interview session. I think that is what I like, because to be honest, as an organization juga, you nak get the best talent out there, or probably the best suitable talent out there to your organization culture, to your organization family, so that basically it fits as much as possible. And there's no always a right answer to everything during the interview session, especially when it comes to experience ataupun to what you can do, because nobody during the interview session would know in and out about you. So it's more on how you're able to portray your character. It's how you're able to relate your experience, whether during your study time or whether you're working during part time during the semester breaks. So that's how you can share with them. You can share with the experience with them regarding your value, your character, towards what's good for that organization.
Okay, thank you very much Encik Airul. Saya rasa introduction yang sangat menarik ya tentang how do we sebenarnya express ourselves during interview. Sangat-sangat penting. So karakter tu akan menentukan how far we can go sebenarnya, kan?
Absolutely.
Speaking of interview ni, nanti mungkin saya nak tanya dengan Sally, Puan Sally pula. Sebenarnya because problems with some of us ni, job seekers ni, kadang-kadang bukan tak perform di interview, tapi nak dapat interview tu pun jadi masalah. So rasanya how can we get call for interview? Sebenarnya macam mana nak dapatkan? So biasanya kita punya mechanism senang kan, we send out the resumes to the HR yang kita minat, hantarlah, Shell hantar, Petronas hantar, BP hantar semua, Sarawak Energy kita hantar, TND kita hantar. But akhirnya tunggu berbulan-bulan pun tak dapat call juga, tak dapat, how do we want to prove ourselves that we are, saya bagus ni, because we didn't even get the call for interview. So probably this is a very right question to ask to Puan Sally. Probably you can introduce a bit about yourself, because I said dia adalah orang kimia, ya, sekarang kerja sebagai HR. So probably boleh introduce sikit, and lepas tu mungkin nak tanya sikit pendapat from your vast experience tu, macam mana kita nak stand out from the resume itself, macam mana kita nak orang tengok, oh, okay, budak ni boleh kita panggil untuk interview. Ya, silakan.
Alright, okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Terima kasih Syarul. Thank you very much FSG for giving me this opportunity. My name is Sally. Actually, I classmate Noah and also Azim. Kita orang semua budak berisek dulu. We graduated, I think, back in 2006. After, I was actually quite lucky. After I graduated from UiTM, I actually managed to secure a job as a researcher. So, most of the time when people ask me, introduce yourself, I am normally quite proud to say that, at one point of time, I actually tried to save the world because we were actually doing a research for a HIV medicine. So I was actually part of the state government research team to explore calanolide A as one of the potential drugs to cure HIV. But unfortunately, after 2 years working as a researcher, adalah a few things that doesn't really fit with my principles and my passion. So I applied a big oil and gas company. So I joined Shell for 10 years in HR. Macam kita cakap, sometimes what your 5 years in university doesn't really prepare you. It's the attitude that will get you going into your career. So in Shell, I was actually brought in as a HR graduate. So I spent 10 years there before returning back to Kuching and joined Sarawak Energy to lead their recruitment portfolio. Yeah, so now I'm actually the talent acquisition leader for Sarawak Energy. So anything to do with any activity yang bawa masuk talent, dari scholarship, bursary, internship, including recruitment, that's the thing that I manage together with my team. I have a team member, five recruiters reporting to me. So HR has been great for me, right? So your question about how do we actually make sure that resume is actually interesting, that it grabs the attention of the reader. So if I were to go back to the point, the answer that was given by we call Iki, nama formal dia Iki. So sorry Iki, if I keep always calling you Iki, we just yeah. So like what Iki mentioned, itulah Noah untuk Noah punya hal ini. So according to Iki, one of the things, the resume, unlike interview, resume actually point out your achievement. So it's actually, if I were to relate to what the kids nowadays know, it's pretty much like your Facebook profile. It's just as an advertisement to showcase yourself without being there in front of the reader physically. So writing a resume, it actually includes you need to include your best qualities in order to help to impress the hiring managers to actually get the job that you want, right? So a little secret, as a recruiter, if you can even Google this to check if my facts is actually correct. Average time spent untuk seseorang tu baca resume actually 6 ke 10 saat je, ya. So okay lah, ambil contoh untuk Sarawak Energy, whenever we open a job vacancy, we actually receive hundreds or even thousands of CV. So that's a lot, yeah. And if you think orang fresh graduate that our universities churn out year on year, you are actually competing dengan 300,000 graduates, and the roles are pretty limited. Lagi-lagi post-COVID ni, a lot of jobs are changing, jobs are getting lesser, and it doesn't help when certain jobs are being automated at the entry level. You don't only compete with other fresh graduates, you also compete with robots, machines, and even people who are actually losing their job, who actually are the advantage sebab dia orang ada experience. So it makes a bit harder untuk fresh graduates sekarang ni untuk stand out. So I'm just going to share a little bit in terms of apa yang perlu ada dalam resume, okay, untuk fresh graduates. Okay, I'm not going to touch on an experienced hire here because I think a lot of us here are actually fresh graduates. What is important, right? So maybe I'll just share 5 poin untuk hari ini. If you actually want to know more, we can, you can chat, or you can even use the Q&A sessions at the end to get more info, right? Number 1, keep it simple, right? keep the format clean, and kalau boleh not more than 3 pages. Sebab you pun fresh graduate je, you know. The second thing yang selalu I rasa orang abaikan, you need to ensure your name, contact details, they are updated. Yeah? So bila I kata contact details tu, make sure mobile number you betul, email you betul. If you have a LinkedIn profile, put it in. Alright? Because it actually helps you to showcase your personality through a different media. Yeah? And it will be good for you to hyperlink those things. Sebab kalau hyperlink senang, orang tu tak perlu nak type. You know, kalau nak email, they just click and it will bring you to the, whatever email that you're using. And a lot of big companies are nowadays, they're using application tracking system. So when you just submit your CV, it will be stored in their database under the talent management database. So it will always be good for you to put your CV in a PDF format. Sebab kalau kadang-kadang when you put it in Microsoft Word punya format dia lari tau. So bila buka dia jadi tak cantik. So kalau you nak send your resume, do it in a PDF format. I think the third one is really important. You need to quantify your achievement. Selalu kan kalau kita buat resume kan, kita letak internship at Jabatan Perangkat Malaysia, for example. What do you do as an intern in Jabatan Perangkat Malaysia? You don't quantify, or kalau you buat macam you letak you are president club ni, but what was your achievement when you were president of that club? All those things are actually going to tell you snippets of your personality. So these are the things that you need to put in. CGPA jangan lupa tinggal. As a fresh graduate, CGPA is actually one of the things that make you stand out among the rest. Tak adalah cakap first class students yang akan dapat, but it does give you certain advantage kalau you showcase the right thing. Okay. Kalau you buat final year project, for example, you can also put what was the achievement, quantify it. Don't just list them out. Right? Is it just me or am I actually hearing something else as well? Alright. Okay, I was being muted. Alright. So this is a bit controversial. No, ada picture ke tak picture? For us, tak payah letak picture. Tak payah letak foto, tak payah nak logo-logo bagai, because kacau. Make use of that limited space that you have. Kadang-kadang letak foto ni, kadang-kadang it introduce bias tau. Sebab kadang-kadang rupa seseorang ni, it does affect certain justification. We are only human. So, my advice, tak ada gambar. Especially kalau macam sekarang ni banyak servis buat resume kan. You pay RM20, you get 5 templates of resume. Oh, very nice. Kalau tengok dalam iPad ataupun laptop cantik, color-color, color pink, color hitam, color biru, don't go for that. Sebabnya kadang-kadang kalau hiring manager, macam Iki cakap, hiring manager ni macam-macam personality. Ada yang old school, dia tak nak tengok CV dalam laptop tau, dia nak print. So kalau you buat CV you biru, hitam, lepas tu font putih, bila dia print out, memang tak nampak benda kan. So keep the resume clean and format simple, tak payah lebih-lebih. Right? And last but not least, no typo. Sekarang ni banyak gila software dekat yang ada, even freeware, that can help you to check typo. Even your simple Microsoft Word pun, you can already know if there's a typo in your document. Those things helps you, right? Personally, I still use Grammarly. There's a free version, there's a paid version as well. It actually helps you to construct better, to say your sentence better. So use all this technology to your advantage. Yeah. So Cheryl, I think these are the 5 things that I'll probably state for now. But if there's any more detail that you guys need, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to.
Yeah, very good tips ya. Once steady. Cumanya kalau saya boleh tanya, ada beza tak agaknya resume dan CV? Kadang-kadang kita pun confuse kan. CV resume ke panjang dia macam mana? Kena pendek ke, one page ke? Any preference?
Kalau untuk fresh graduate, okay, resume and CV kalau dekat Malaysia ni dia guna interchangeably. So nobody's gonna correct you the technical. You sepatutnya kata CV not resume. I don't think we are with that angle. But I guess a fresh graduate 1-2 page pun okay, tak payah lebih-lebih.
Okay.
Tapi yang penting content you do. It has to be precise. It has to be on the dot. Qualification you quantify. Letak apa yang penting.
Okay. Thank you very much. Menarik saya nak tarik perhatian pasal resume warna-warni tadi, because sebenarnya kan saya pernah baca kat internet juga. So to be standing out, you have to be unique. So guna colour macam-macam. So it's actually a no-no. One of the 5 tips that was given by Puan Sadi, tak boleh. So probably kita tak tahu kan preference, but to be on the safe side with make it neat and simple as possible, as long as the point that we want to put there get across. Okay, thank you very much. And we're moving on to the speaker, Azin.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, are you at home? Kat rumah itu?
Ya, saya dekat rumah.
Cantik rumah dia. Okay.
Nak pergi bercuti tak boleh pula kan, sebab ada program ni. Lepas ni lah kita keluar.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your time again. Yeah, we really appreciate. So continue on from what the previous 2 speakers have, given us. Kita nak tahu juga, so during the interview ni kadang-kadang, yelah kita dengan nervousnya, dengan first time-nya kan. Saya dulu nak pakai satu kerja tu, saya rasa more than 20 interviews tu I attended. So 19 of them fail. So, yang ke-20 tu macam tiba-tiba dapat, Alhamdulillah lah kan. Tapi I was always wondering, and this is probably what our graduates also wondering, sebenarnya macam mana nak impress kan kita punya interviewers tu, because as Sally said just now, lain HR manager, lain orang, lain lah kehendak dia. So in general, if you could put it, macam mana agaknya kita nak impress kan, saya beri karakter yang Encik Ikmah cakap tadi. So apa lagi agaknya kita boleh buat during interview, so we'll be impressive and stand out among other interviewees. Silakan, boleh kenalkan diri sikit kot before start, Encik Azim, silakan.
Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Selamat pagi semua. You can hear me, Syarul?
Very, very clear.
Okay, alright. Okay, terima kasih Syarul. And terima kasih juga tadi sahabat saya Sally dan juga Eki. Actually kita orang pun grad tak jauh kan, 2005-2006. So basically actually kita orang grad 2006. Masa tu bulan 6 kan, I think we grad, kita habis final exam bulan 6. And at that time actually I've already submit my resume to the Tenaga Nasional Berhad, TNB. And luckily they called me interview just after 2 weeks from I submit that CV, and I got the job on the July before even we graduate on the November. Yep. So in terms of if you guys want to know about the process of the interview too, maybe I have not gone so many interview, but when I work as a HR manager here in Tenaga Nasional Berhad, so I got a little bit experience how we interview people and what we can expect from graduates or any experienced workers out there that want to work with Tenaga. Okay, so berbalik tadi pada soalan Cik Syarul kan, mengenai macam mana kita nak impresskan the interviewer. So actually di soalan dah lebih dah kepada orang kata apa, kita dah dapat that job interview, bukan dapat job lagi lah, kita baru dapat the interview. And macam mana kita nak buat persediaan semua tu. Macam tadi Saudara Eki dia dah ceritakan macam mana you nak prepare yourself to go to the interview. And then Puan Sally dah kata you dah buat resume macam ni, and because of the criteria resume yang dah cantik apa semua tu you buat, and then we already shortlisted you untuk kita panggil interview. Okay, so straight to the point, macam mana kita nak impresskan the interviewer ni, benda yang paling basic yang I can share ialah satu je sebenarnya, yang paling first sekali adalah you need to present yourself well lah, meaning in terms of everything. Sebagai contoh, you kena datang awal, you need to make sure your dress code is in a good terms. it doesn't matter lah kalau you pergi interview dekat company yang maybe casual wear or anything, but at the first time you need to make a big impression towards the hiring manager, towards the interviewers, that you really need an tidy person lah. Jangan pergi pakai seluar jean, tak tie in, you know, pakai slipper ke. So that's a big no-no lah. First kali you need to dress well. It's always good to overdress rather than you underdress, right? So tu benda yang paling penting, because kita manusia kan, so kita pergi jumpa orang, kita akan tengok, oh dia ni, kita terus, walaupun mungkin kita tak tahu background dia, tapi you terus tengok, oh dia ni pakai coat, dia ni pakai tie and everything, you terus akan rasa ni macam kerja-kerja corporate ni kan. Kita akan terus have that impression, sebab kita tak boleh nak lari daripada kenyataan bahawa memang kita adalah manusia dan kita sentiasa akan ada, orang kata apa, tanggapan-tanggapan ataupun perception based on apa yang kita lihat. So jadi pertama sekali you need to present yourself well. Maksudnya yang penting datang awal, and then be yourself and be humble. Itu yang paling penting. Yang tu yang memang apa yang saya cakap ni lebih kepada interviewer 101 lah, orang kata kan, maksudnya benda-benda paling basic. Tapi sebenarnya as hiring manager, benda-benda basic tu yang kita akan tengok juga. Okay, yang kedua, I think whatever it is yang you nak buat, first sekali because you already got that job interview, and then you need to do your industry homework lah. So contoh you kata you nak kerja dengan Petronas ataupun tenaga nasional berhad. You really need to know orang kata apa, dia punya mission and vision ataupun apa yang industri tu buat. Yang tu paling penting, because at least interviewer akan tahu where you are dan kenapa you untuk meminta kerja tersebut kan. And then I think another one yang you can buat lah, maybe we can do as a interviewers. Contoh kalau I interview orang lah kan, ada orang yang I interview tu, I always like kalau macam I nak tahu orang tu enjoy to work with or not. Sometimes bila kita tanya a bit macam formality kan, tanya soalan ni, it just like very formal dan macam benda tu tak really enjoy work with tau. So sometimes bila ada interviewee yang make a small talk tu maksudnya macam not unimportant thing lah. Maksudnya dia akan cakap something yang berkaitan dengan about what happened recently, about the issue semasa ke, something like that kan, just selingan semasa. Then I think that would create macam ice breaking punya session, dan benda tu akan buat kita jadi lebih casual dan kita akan lebih rasa connected dengan orang yang kita interview tu. Itu satu. And then I think last but not least, yang paling penting adalah you perlu, orang kata apa, sell what you can offer. Sell what you can offer ni maksud dia, kalau kata kita, so biasanya kita sentiasa akan tanya kan, apa yang you akan bagi pada kita, apa semua kan, kepada company lah kan. And then kebanyakan yang saya dapat jawapan yang dia orang jawab kat kita, dia kata by doing this job, I know I can learn a lot, I can build myself. And sometimes I was like, it's not about yourself sebenarnya, it's about what value you can bring to our company. So if you can state clearly about, okay, contoh I tanya about what is the thing that you can bring when you come here, and you can state that clearly, maksudnya you boleh beritahu you akan bantu our company towards this, so that's would be better. That one is already enough, dan kita akan nampak memang you clearly understand about what this company direction, and moving forward how we want to hire people like that. Okay. Okay, I think cukup kot Jarul. Macam tu kan.
Okay, menarik sekali Cik Azim. Saya tengok kebanyakan tips yang diberi tu kan, contohnya be prepared and be well dressed. Sebab kadang-kadang mungkinlah ya, saya pun berfikir, dan mungkin ramai berfikir bahawa probably the trend of interviewing session tu dah berubah kot. So probably we can wear something informal, a little bit casual, just yalah, sebab orang kata trend dah berubah kot. We are no longer the kind of old school company yang mesti pakai macam ni. But it is good to know that, well, thing doesn't change that much. Maksudnya kita masih perlu well prepared and well groomed, pakai elok-elok, manis-manis, dan at least benda tu presentable lah masa interview. Betul je.
Yang paling penting actually untuk dress code tu, you need to know the industry that you want to venture with lah.
Yes.
So you pergi interview kat Google ke, yang memang kat situ memang
yalah,
Yeah. So you don't need lah pakai tie, pakai coat sebagai apa semua tu kan. Just cukup kemas yang sesuai dengan standard dia orang pun dah mencukupi lah.
Betul. And sometimes saya rasa dress code ni pun dia memang mention kan kadang-kadang dalam email dan sebagainya, but of course kalau tak mention pun I think it requires some common sense from the job seekers untuk to be presentable during the interview. Okay, good to know. Kita habis first round ni, macam first round lah, so to speak. Kita akan ada probably 2-3 round lagi, but before we go the second round, probably I can make few announcement here that this very webinar is also being broadcasted live on our FSG YouTube. The name of the FSG channel is FSG UiTM Shah. So if you have problems accessing to this webinar through WebEx, you can always go to the YouTube. The link also has been shared here by Dr. Shaiful. You can find it in the chat box. You can also register yourself, please, because we have two kind of registrations here. One, the one that you probably had filled up before this event started, and the one that during the event is conducted, because we need to know, sometimes the number of registrants tu tak sama dengan number of attendees yang kita hari-hari ni, just in case we want to prepare some e-cert for you, so to make the things easier. Okay, going back to our first speaker ni, atau Cik Saiful, dia bagi link kat situ, you can register yourself. Now, next nak tanya balik lah dengan Cik Airul Ikmah. Siapa panggilan tadi? EK? Apa namanya? So you only so happen to be coming from one batch lah maksudnya ya? Semua graduate from 2006 and then June 2006 ya? Oh, sangat senior lah. Saya 2006 baru masuk degree rasanya.
Super senior kan? Super duper senior. Ya.
Kan, tapi nampak sebab
bertempur tu kat kafe balik kafe menara tu.
Tapi seniors being seniors kan, seniors being serious lah ya. So, dia tak tegur sangat lah juniors ya. Tapi kita dapat itulah sebaya je ya. So after 14 years dah tinggalkan universiti so lama dah ya. So agaknya kalau kita masuk balik pun orang rasa kita student je pun. Okay, kalau pada Cik Airul Ikmah ada banyak bendera belakang saya tengok tu, ada Singapura, Korea ke, bendera kat mana tu? Where are you exactly? Gold Coast ke mana?
No. I hope saya bukan Lotus Desaru.
Oh, okay, cool. Saya ke Desaru juga ni, Januari nanti. Okay. So, kembali kepada interview tadi, kita dengar juga kan, kata penting untuk tahu kehendak industri, penting untuk tahu company kita pergi tu kena tahulah apa yang dia nak sebenarnya. So, this is one of the main tips yang saya pun dapat juga when I was looking for job, iaitu kena research tentang company tu and about the job market, and then maksudnya nature of the job yang kita apply tu. Tapi maksudnya soalan saya paling penting adalah, is it still relevant untuk study A to Z pasal company tu? Nak study company tubuhkan bila, establish bila, siapa manager dia, siapa CEO dia, to that extent ke, ataupun what kind of research that we can have untuk company tu sebenarnya? So please.
Okay.
Dah masak ke nasinya?
Belum masak nasi lagi lah. Siapa tu? Saya dengar orang tanya dah masak nasi belum. Alright, but never mind. Going back to this. I think, okay, whether relevant or not, it all depends on who's going to interview. Macam saya cakap tadi, interviewer ni ada berbagai-bagai karakter dan ada berbagai sifat dan datang daripada berbagai-bagai zaman. Interviewer yang baby boomers, 70s, their character will be definitely different from ours. From kita yang dah graduate in 2005 or 2006 ni, walaupun kita rasa kita graduate macam daripada 2015, tapi I think for us we are much more closer to the millennials yang ataupun to the current generation. We like to give opportunities, we like to give provide a platform, we like to give a proper time and proper chances to them compared to without generalizing compared to some lah. So whether relevant or not to apa tadi, to know all about the organisation, about your position. It all depends to the interviewer. So, in short answer, yes, you have to be prepared for that. Because sebab when you come for interview, when you come for interview session, it's not just you are being judged, but you should also take the opportunity to read the character, to evaluate the interviewer, so that your answers can meet to their needs. So your answers can meet to their what they want. Especially if your interview session on second round or third round yang much more related to the hiring manager, because it's all about what the hiring manager wants. So kalau you pandai baca apa yang interviewer tu apa karakter interviewer tu, it's much more easier for you to tabulate ataupun to give the proper answer ataupun proper direction to every question that the interviewer gave. When in general, you can try to prepare as much as possible from whether it's from the organization punya information, the job information, the job description, or the current issues like what we have now, the COVID. How do you handle COVID? How many tests do you have for COVID for employees, for foreign workers? The industrial knowledge. I think you can try to prepare as much as possible, but just make sure that whatever that you put in your resume, that is the first thing that you should know. That should be the first thing that is part of your head. You jangan letak benda dalam resume, but when being asked for that question, or when being asked to give certain example from that experience or from that period of your working experience or project experience, and you can't give anything, then I think it's a bit worrying lah, because that would reflect some sour note to the interviewer.
Okay. Thank you, Airul. Mungkin Puan Sally nak tambah sikit ke? Pasal point tu. Sebab dia nak tambah sikit ke, Sally?
Well, actually just to tambah sikit, sekarang ni banyak kot teknologi that actually helps you to prepare benda-benda macam ni. Even in trying to understand what you want to know about the company, banyak benda dekat internet sekarang yang you boleh guna. Macam personally for me as a recruiter, I actually go to website like Glassdoor. So kalau, for example, kalau you nak interview dekat Shell, for example, you pergi Glassdoor, Shell, you just type Shell interview question, Glassdoor, kadang-kadang dia kasih secara bocor tau. Kadang-kadang
semua keluar
benda buruk, benda baik semua keluar. Kita orang dekat organisation pun macam tak boleh nak cakap apa, sebab content dia tak boleh nak control. But use this technologies to your advantage. And then kadang-kadang, kalau for example, kalau you apply untuk bigger organisation macam Shell or even the big banks, kadang-kadang dikasih tips tau on what are the question that they will ask during interview. So bacalah dekat situ. Sekarang ni kalau dapat macam Iki cakap baby boomer tu, memang dia tanyalah apa visi, misi. Tapi I think you boleh belajar benda. Tapi kalau one thing that I will probably take a bit of attention to is actually the organisation value. Because you will plan to stay in organisation for at least 4 to 5 years. We're talking about millennials here. They don't stay in one organisation for nanti pencen. They don't even wait nanti pencen. Kalau I pun tak kerja sama pencen pun. But the thing is, an organisation value tu, kalau it does not align dengan value you, you will be very uncomfortable to be in the organisation. So if your personal value align dengan organizational value, that will drive you further in terms of wanting to have a good career in that organisation. So banyak soalan bocor, you just need to do your research.
Correct. I think it's a very good point that Sally brought out, on the organization value. I mean, personally as an interviewee, if the answer that I get from my candidates, right, if the answer that he or she can relate to the organization value, I'll be very, very impressed. Meaning that he or she really does the homework. Like Sally say, sekarang ni Google, anything that you can get from the internet. So something is wrong with you if you can't get all this information lah. And if you can't get information that's from the organization perspective ataupun interview perspective, would say that ni memang a lazy person lah to come and prepare him or herself. So I think, yeah, apart from the values, regarding the company background, whether it's a private, whether it's public listed or not, what's the share price, how's the company has been doing, the new projects. Sarawak Energy, there's a few, what do you call that? There's a few new upcoming projects. Then that'll be good. I know what is the share price for that particular company. That would be good because it really clicks an impression towards the interviewer when the interviewee knows here and there, and especially those important information that has been laid out during the interview session. Because I think in the end of the day, first impression would last quite a while.
Yep.
Ya, betul. Saya pun setuju. Bukan dalam kerja saja, tapi if you meet new people kan, if you meet new group of people pun, so the first impression is very, very important. Even though sometimes we might be getting wrong impression, we have time to correct that. But interview tu memang macam is a do or die kan. You tak buat betul-betul memang tak dapat lah. Sebab dia pun ada banyak lagi candidates yang menunggu kan. You're not the only candidate for that position. So probably you have to be doing your very, very best.
Correct.
Now, kita dapat banyak.
Sorry. Importantly, yes, you have to don't overdo until you stress yourself out. Because whenever you stress, you can see. Whenever you stress, we can see. And then when we see that, then basically they can trigger, this candidate probably cannot handle stress. Because if the interview cannot handle it, then how in the toxic culture or some toxic group within the company, so it's a bit
kena chillax lah ya, kena chill and relax.
Chill. Kalau if you answer the information too much, you come
with position that you apply. Yeah, that's a good point. So I can personally conclude that among the great tips that we can have adalah get yourself prepared and make sure you know the background of the company, and of course you have to be very much presentable during the interview. So that is, orang kata ini macam sebenarnya lah kita walaupun dah lebih kurang almost an hour ni, sebenarnya baru kita macam
something that you require a bit of soul searching in order to know what is actually your personal branding. If we were to relate to what the first question that you asked to EP just now, one of the things that he pointed out was having a personal value. So this personal value can also be interpreted as a personal branding. Who are you? Who you are? Tapi in order as a person, and it's not something yang you boleh buat tau. Kalau macam you if you Google what is a great personal branding, Google will give you thousands of answers. But if it doesn't define you as a person, that's not going to help you as well. So kalau misalkan tu, kalau you cakap my personal branding is I am someone who is eager to learn. Ni jawapan standard budak-budak sekarang ni. I'm a fast learner, cakap macam tu. Okay, so kalau kita tanya macam, okay, you understand that you are a fast learner, but okay, you brand yourself as fast learner, but what do you do, in order for you to accelerate your learning when you are being thrown into a new? Tak boleh cakap, tiba-tiba macam, dah sedar. So the reason why personal branding is important is it has to show the real you. So macam benda tu akan datang natural. So kalau kau cakap I'm a fast learner, so okay, I'm a curious person. Every day I spend X numbers of hours doing something. I like to do this kind of projects because it helps me keep my brain sharp. It will come natural to you. Tapi again, as I mentioned, untuk you understand diri you sendiri, it's a bit of soul searching. So now, maybe we'll just talk on 4 things about why this personal branding is actually important. Okay? Number 1, make up your mind. You're good at so many things, but you need to find out what are the things that you're really good at, And with these things, you will need to be able to articulate the expertise and understand what kind of job that you will implement that you have learned in university or even in school in order to achieve this kind of personal growth. So the word that is actually articulation of the best traits in you. And these things, it takes practice. Kalau you tak boleh nak macam, even though it comes natural, in certain ways it has to be scripted. It's something that you need to practice before you pergi interview. You talk to your mom, your boyfriend tengah dating, macam okay, hear me out. Let me know how does my personal branding sounds like. Sebab benda kalau kita buat berkali-kali, then it comes naturally. Kalau pergi job interview, sometimes unfortunately the people pergi 20 job interview, 20 tak dapat. Tapi the experience yang you go tapi experience yang you pergi 20 kali itu, I'm sure you are better than the last interview session that you attended, because there's always certain learning from this experience, whether it's a failure or success. Number 2, emphasize your passion. Yeah, kalau you betul-betul passionate in the areas of, for example, I budak environment, I'm very ni job mesti orang pergi Israel ni cakap I'm very into renewable energy. Okay, it's just a matter of how are you good at this renewable energy? Tell me, how are you good at this renewable? What makes you being so passionate about it? Tak boleh cakap. I tak adalah expect cakap I drive a hybrid car, I drive an electric car, maybe tak. But all those little things that actually showcase that you really are an environmental friendly person. It helps to really see the consistency of your personal branding. Yeah. The third one, leverage on your previous experience. Macam I cakap tadi, kalau you cakap you are fast learner, macam Azim pun cakap, I'm willing to learn. Okay, kalau you willing to learn, macam mana, how have you demonstrate those things in the past? You don't have to be in a real job in order for you to express that experience. Kalau macam kita orang recruiter pun, kalau fresh graduates, memang kita orang reiterate more on macam project you buat dekat, what kind of project did you do in the past, what kind of activities that you did in the past. All those things are able to help you to quantify the quality of your experience. That helps us to understand a bit. Let's say kalau I bawa you masuk kerja dalam organisation ni, this is how you would react. Tadi ada soalan cakap, okay, dia tanya ke soalan teknikal. We always believe technical kita orang boleh ajar.
Okay.
Macam I bukan HR. I dulu budak kimia. Tapi I was trained in terms of the technical skills of HR when I'm in the organisation. The things that you normally ask, you Google assessment center, structured interviews. A lot of times the questions are with regards to your behaviour, your leadership skills, benda-benda soft skills. They don't really ask about hard skills. Hard skills, I pergi share pun, kalau you tanya engineer kat sana, kalau you tanya pasal generator ke apa, well ke apa, dia tak tahu tadi masuk kerja tu. Benda tu semua dia orang ajar bila dah masuk kerja. But those soft skills, those leadership abilities, those are the things that we normally test during interview. Alright? Last but not least, manage your online personal equity. Okay? Sekarang ni, banyak manager, kalau tengok director EQ muda lagi, tak adalah lama baby boomer baru jadi manager. HR manager TND tengok Azim muda lagi. Okay, so a lot of them are very tech savvy. So you jangan ingat your online presence dalam LinkedIn je boleh show who you are. But sometimes, if I want to go back to the examples that I gave, that I'm an environmentally, I like environment. Kadang-kadang, I know certain hiring manager that actually even go to Facebook and your online presence, does it really, even your affiliation. There are a lot of technologies out there that a recruiter use to actually see what kind of affiliation, what kind of networking that you are subscribing into. For example, kalau you like certain pages in Facebook, we know. So kalau kalau you tak letak contact detail pun, there are a lot of technology out there and they are free. Macam Lusha, I boleh type nama you, I boleh nampak semua affiliation you, web page you, apa you punya phone number, email address, we know. So
okay, this somehow can freak people out.
Dia sangat. So be careful. So what I'm saying is personal branding, is something, it's already within you. You just need to do a bit of research on yourself and try to see, what with others to see if that really, transpire from you throughout the interaction that you have with them. So I hope that's helpful, Sharul.
Very, very helpful untuk saya sekalipun. Yeah. Boleh guna juga untuk promotion nanti kan. Very much later lah kita tunggu Dr. Khairil dulu promoted. Nanti kita akan cerita sikit lah pasal COVID and how things change. Tapi saya nak tanya juga dengan Cik Azim ni. And then tadi Puan Sali kata you have to prepare, you have to rehearse kan, you for the interview, so you will come naturally. As in, ini memang dia lah. So that's what I did also tau sebenarnya. And but kadang-kadang we have certain dilemma lah, I would say. Sebenarnya kita nak cakap ni, perlu humble brag ke tak sebenarnya dalam ni? Saya pandai ni, saya pandai tu. Ataupun sebenarnya, keep it things low. Sebenarnya saya ni humble, saya zuhud saja. Saya tak pandai itu, tak pandai ni. So, on which side that we should be on? Mana kita nak letak diri? How do you position yourself? So, we'll be attractive to the employer, and then kita pun nampak presentable, and at the same time kita macam okay, aku nak budak ni kerja dengan aku. So apakah kriteria yang kita nak tengok? Bukan it's not such a big braggart, bukan juga, tapi tidaklah macam apa budak ni catat dia self confident je, semua tak tahu, semua saya biasa-biasa je. Kadang tu kan, because you notice certain people akan ada certain traits yang macam tu. And dia dulu before saya kerja ni pun, I was working as jadi chemist lah kan, so terlibatlah juga nak recruit budak-budak bekerja pun macam tu lah, maksudnya macam dia nak kerja tapi gaya macam tak nak kerja. Probably mungkin dia takut kot kalau cakap lebih sikit, nanti sampai fikir pula, budak ni macam belagak pandai ke. So macam ni, how do we position ourselves during the interview so tak nampak macam belagak, tak nampak pula macam terlalu tak ada self-esteem. Encik Azim.
Okay, balik pada soalan Syarul tu. Tadi about the personal branding yang Seli dah cerita apa semua tadi. So actually, I do believe that a company that hire a certain people, tak kisahlah dia fresh grad ke ataupun dia memang dah ada experience untuk bekerja sebelumnya apa semua, it's not because we believe that dia memang confirm boleh buat kerja. Yang macam Seli kata tadi lah, technical team boleh belajar apa semua. But it's orang kata apa, probably because we can see the potential in themselves. Because we believe that bila kita dah interview dia, kita tengok dia ada potential ni untuk go towards our value, our culture and everything. And benda-benda tu kita akan boleh tengok by the way, in the sense that bila kita tanya dia orang soalan-soalan tu lah. Sebagai contoh, kita biasa akan tanya, why do you want to work here? Kan, something like that. And then kalau dia boleh nail that question, I mean in terms of kita akan tanya that question because kita nak tahu whether dia align or not dengan kita punya culture and value dengan kerja apa semua kan. Okay, so itu satu. And then as the interviewee, berbalik pada soalan Syarul tadi, dia kata maksudnya adakah kita perlu pura-pura, maknanya kita ni memang bukan jenis orang yang outspoken ke apa semua. But in the interview session, whether you like it or not, you need to speak, right? Memang kita tak boleh, it's not like kalau memang you ni jenis introvert, you tak bercakap, then it will not bring you anywhere lah, kan? So you have to learn that skill lah before you go to the interview, because you've been calling to the interview for a reason. We shortlisted you because we believe that kita tengok you punya qualification, kita tengok something inside your resume, and maybe tengok muka lah kan, because Sally kata tak letak muka kan. Nanti dia akan bias the justification untuk kita ni. Itu another story lah, right? Okay. But actually the thing is you need to prepare yourself to just be yourself. Actually kalau you already just be yourself, you tak payah prepare apa-apa pun kan, because you already but you need to understand that kalau in terms of yourself tu, I mean your diri sekarang ni, kita memang jenis tak erti nak bercakap sangat apa semua. And benda tu you need to learn. You need to learn, at least you need to practice. Practice and practice. You tak ada cara lain. You need to practice lah. Maksudnya you kena talk to your colleague ke, talk to your parents ke, talk to your friend and everything apa semua. How you want to jawab soalan apa semua. And I suka tadi saudara Eki ada sebut don't overdo lah. Sometimes bila kita interview people, kita boleh baca. I got a lot of experience with it. Bila kita interview orang yang memang macam nak tunjuk dia boleh, nak tunjuk dia pandai, nak kita tahu you already overdo that. I know you tak perlu nak impresskan interview tu lebih-lebih, sebab it's not about that yang kita nak cari sebenarnya. Dan benda tu pun akan jadi reflect something yang tak elok lah, because we feel like macam bahaya budak ni, nanti dia kata cakap je pandai, kerja tak jalan. There's a lot of how we can interpret lah the way you bawa yourself tu kan. You bring yourself towards the interview session tu. So I think the best advice is you need to practice if you don't know how to speak well. I mean, in terms of the bahasa ataupun English tu, I think nowadays tak jadi masalah sangat.
Salah. Okay.
Tak jadi masalah sebab benda tu, it's kind of macam session yang kita ada hari ni, kita kan mix here and there lah kan, bahasa Inggeris, bahasa Melayu sikit and everything apa semua, as long as it's commendable and understandable the viewer. But it's not up to us lah whether the interview going to be conduct in what language kan. It's some research you kena tanya dulu apa semua. But at the end of the day, the personal branding lah yang paling penting, macam yang saya kata tadi. Maksudnya who you are, siapa you akan determine lah whether you can get that job interview or not.
Okay. Thank you Encik Azim. In terms of language, rasanya kebanyakan student UiTM especially, saya dengar lah pada recruiter, English diorang agak bagus ya. Cuma kadang-kadang diorang tak erti nak express themselves. Tapi diorang yang setakat saya dengar untuk kawan-kawan saya yang buat startup, yang nak hire pekerja, dia kata baguslah budak dari UiTM. Korang guna bahasa Inggeris ya dekat dalam lecture. Rasa banggalah juga kan ya.
You boleh dengar Puan Sally lah. Dia cakap Melayu nampak macam kekok kan. Padahal dia
macam Mak Saleh kan. Sangat itulah saya macam okay.
It's a true fact.
Saya nak cakap Melayu ni dah rasa macam kena cakap English ke?
Itulah sangat.
Tapi betul tau sebabnya macam I think UiTM has done a very good job in terms of in terms of
English as a medium ya.
Because I think it really helps. Kadang-kadang kalau macam dulu yelah kalau Risha, a lot of graduate pun katakan dari overseas kalau so macam to hear that you're able to converse good English with them. I'm not the only one, ramai je. I know I have a lot of friends dari UiTM that was also together with me in Shah last time. Speak good English, so I think it's actually a good thing that keep it up UiTM. I think this is actually the right direction that you guys are doing.
Good job. To be
puji juga lecturer dia mengajak kat sini. Tiba-tiba.
Actually right for the students right. Bila I mean throughout my time when we do presentation in English ataupun when the lecturer demand us to use English as a medium of communication between classes ataupun assignment. Do that because that is your platform to practice and to polish up you punya conversation skills, you punya vocabulary, you punya the way of presentation. Because I actually see the difference like those especially Bhumis graduate yang from UiTM and UKM, UPM. If you compare that how they answer question in English ataupun how they attend the interview session in English, it's different. Different. So UiTM, woohoo.
UiTM di hatiku ya. Betul, saya sangat setuju yang tu because we can see that our side have changed tremendously before and after we graduated. Kita rasa macam kita rasa macam terbangun sikit lah into language and macam rasa okay dah pandai sikit lah kan.
Just to add a little bit more macam kan time presentation, universities actually a place for you to do all those mistakes. You can tanya Azim or even Dr. Noor kan, kalau dulu time kita orang present on iron apa semua keluar, memang kita orang gelak seorang, but those things actually helps you to mind. Memang macam-macam keluar. So but I think that is the safest place for you to do mistake. And I last time study group is really something that really helped me to get the grades that I got for BSEC last time kan. So if I don't study with my group of friends, I don't think I'll get the results that I got. So these friends actually help you to correct your mistakes and also for me to even practice to make language to be better.
Those good memories.
Buatlah kesalahan.
Scan kita sebut scan macam tu lah kan. So adalah orang jadi dari belakang. Tekan those good memories. So I think it's about time to reunion kot dengan Dr. Khairil ni. Okay, sebenarnya kebanyakan we have around 10 minutes more. Probably we can add 5 more minutes extra. It has been a very great discussion. We are very lucky to have you in this webinar. Do not get yourself confused, audiences. Kebanyakan yang tips bagi tu bukan bermaksud boleh guna before COVID saja. Maksudnya post pandemic pun saya yakin bahawa we can personal branding, how do you talk during interview, all those tips are still beneficial, in fact still helpful to be used and employed now, I believe kan. Cumanya mungkin sekarang mekanismenya dah berubah sikit lah kan. Dulu kita interview face to face, macam pergi kita tengok, masa kita tengok orang tu from head to toe lah, macam rambut dia, tie dia apa, kasut dia apa. Now probably kita tengok separuh badan je. So ada yang buat video resume kan, ataupun hantar macam pakai cantik ni baju UiTM, pakai blazer, tapi kat bawah kan play card je macam tu kan. Sekarang is in new norm kan. Saya tak kata dah Cik Alim macam tu. Cara saya lah ni kan. So maksudnya probably this is a new norm that kata ya. Probably this is the new norm that we're having now. That aside, maksudnya things have changed. Agak-agaknya apa lagi yang berubah dalam konteks interview dan to get a job? Probably anyone nak start dulu?
Fine, probably I can give
Okay, Encik Airul silakan.
few of experience lah. I think when you have been called up for an interview, right, if you can relate to our current pandemic ataupun new norm situation, that will be plus point as well. Like for instance, right, when you have been called up for interviews, you can ask questions like, oh, do we do this virtually or do I need to come there? There's a physical distancing over there. What's the procedure over there? So that you can come in prepared. And when this first impression, when this first instances, instead of they tell you what to do, and instead of that, you are giving you ask question, what will be the new procedure, what will be the new norm? Is there a form that I have to fill up? Do you need to know where my whereabouts for the last 2 weeks or 2 days? That basically put you in a position where you are basically in tune with the current pandemic punya new norm, especially within the factory ataupun plant, yang mana now you can see the government are really piled up on the foreign workers hostel accommodation. All that puts basically helps you to give, to get a plus point during this pandemic ataupun new norm situation.
Okay, Puan Sally?
I think I probably want to add a little bit more. Sekarang ni banyak technology that we use in recruitment. If you work with the bigger companies, a lot of them use application tracking system. But even kalau you are a fresh graduate now, there are a lot of virtual interaction that's being done outside there. Even career fairs now are actually done via virtual, tak ada dah sekarang career fair where you go to certain places and be there physically. Even on Job Street, for example, they do have virtual Job Street, career fairs. Interview is actually done via Skype, via Zoom. Benda-benda macam ni, kalau let's say if you are being called for an interview virtually, make sure you are well versed with those technology. Try it out. You jangan nanti bila masuk interview, you have already interview selalunya 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay? Jangan nanti the first 50 minutes you are fumbling with the technology itself. So make sure you get your because a lot of things are relying on technology. So we need the candidates to be more tech savvy. And a lot of times, kalau cakap pasal millennial ni, the impression that the older generation have is they are better in terms of technology. So you better make up the expectation. Some companies also use a lot of recruitment technology nowadays. You can Google something called HireView. Some of the oil and gas companies actually use HireView, where they actually use artificial intelligence to actually help to screen out candidates. So kalau you pergi interview pun, you don't actually meet a real person. So what they ask you to do is they will give you a set of questions.
I see.
You videotape yourself, you answer the question, and the beauty about these things is that you can take as many takes as you want. You can send the best video version of yourself and answer those questions. Jadi kadang-kadang hiring manager tak tengok pun you face to face, so dia just tengok video you je. Okay, so tadi I dengar Syarul ada cakap pasal video resume. At the moment at Malaysia, I think close to 80% organizations still prefer all method of using resume or CV, where you just send in and then you run. Kalau sekarang ni, I think video resume still serves as a supplementary tool for you to showcase your talent ability.
I see.
So I think kalau macam certain jobs, maybe video resume is not too suitable. Tapi kalau you are in the creative industry, for example, that requires you to showcase your skill, probably you will need to supplement your even programming. Kalau I cari IT, kalau dia cakap I'm good with Python, for example, or I've done Tableau or Power BI, probably it would be good for you to supplement those things that you say in your resume by giving a video resume. Video resume is more about show, you don't tell. I tell you in my resume, but I will show you in my video.
Yeah.
Okay, so probably those are some of the technologies that helps me as a recruiter to actually skim through all the talents that apply through our organization.
Okay, thank you, Sally. Azim, probably anything at all on new norms dalam interview ni?
Yeah, I think in terms of our company, I mean Tenaga Nasional Berhad itself, in terms of how we hire people nowadays, probably more or less just like the same macam Sally ada cakap tadi lah, kita dah tak ada buat career fair and everything apa semua because it's already like tak boleh buat kan oleh sebab COVID and everything. But we do extensively the video call lah for the interviewer. So memang hanya kita buat interview secara online, and from that everything just goes just like the same, just like the other question and everything lah. And pernah juga apa hari tu kita orang interview kan, dia dah cerita apa semua ni kan, bila dia tanya pasal gaji kita orang, yang kita kata we're going to pay you like in a range that 4,000 to 5,000 lah kan. And then dia straight away terus kata macam, oh tak apalah kalau macam tu sebab sekarang ni saya dah buat 5 kerja, you know, dengan kerja sekarang ni kan, dia buat Grab lah, buat tu lah and everything kan. So I can easily get 15,000 sebulan by doing all of those things. So you know,
that's a lot.
Yeah. So it was like then we just ask them, ask him back lah kan, why you want to kata apa minta kat sini kalau you know you can earn more than what you can have here. So they just kata just for the sake of gathering experience wise, you know, just want to get exposed to the outside world. I think the millennials nowadays is quite challenging lah compared to the one macam zaman kita dulu saya. Macam dah tua je. Okay,
thank you Encik Azim. Okay, now kita dah yeah.
You breaking, Sharon?
Sudah 25 dah pun. Probably we can pick a question from the participants. I'm breaking up. Okay.
Okay, now.
Boleh dengar ke sekarang?
Okay, now Chin.
Okay. Boleh dengar? Dia? Ke macam lagging sikit?
Okay dah.
No better. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, ada soalan panjang pula soalan. Tapi soalan ni macam yang saya nak. Okay, yelah semua orang kita dah belajar susah-susah, and then we are expecting, well, as a normal human being we have some expectations in terms of salary. Tu macam orang yang tanya kan, ada siapa tanya, sekejap saya tengok nama kejap. Dah tidur banyak soalan. Okay, kata how do we react or answer about expected salary? So do we have to come with some preconceived idea about the amount of salary that we want, ataupun sebenarnya kita just as newcomer in the industry, biarlah orang tentukan my value, my worth. Ke we can actually, you know, boleh bagi tahu saya nak gaji ni because I have ANC ni, I have 3.99 GPA, you should be giving me 3,999 macam itulah kan diminta gaji. So what say you? Probably kita start yang siapa dulu? Encik Azim ke nak start on this?
Boleh kan I take that question
Yeah.
In terms of the expected salary range, actually there's a few strategy lah that we can use as a newcomer. I mean kita pun baru nak start kerja and everything kan. So it's not like I datang kerja ni, okay I dah buat for flat semua tu, I nak minta 10,000 gaji untuk permulaan. But you can, but it always depend on the industry that you minta lah. Because prior to the interview itself, you kena buat some study jugalah, the range of the position ataupun position yang you nak minta tu, dia punya salary range tu berapa and everything. So actually I think to be safe, you can give the salary range itself. Contoh, because if you can provide a salary range, meaning the interviewer ada orang kata apa, already know that you do some homework and you already know the market out there berapa dia punya range, and at the same time you give the impression towards the interviewer how much you value, something like that. So probably I think give the salary is the best answer rather than you just like tak apa, I tak kisah gaji berapa pun as long as I boleh kerja dengan you. I think that should be not an answer lah, because by doing that, you just like macam you don't value yourself that much. You need to have that value yourself. Yep.
Faham. Thank you, Encik Azim. So now 11:28, tapi probably we can have 10 more minutes extra because tadi pun kita started a little bit late, around 10:15 kan. We have some, some connection glitches and all. But yeah, because things are getting more interesting. Saya pula excited. Okay, so kita ada juga soalan mungkin Puan Saidi boleh jawab. Yang ni ikut saya rasa dia kata soalan-soalan klise dah juga kan yang HR akan tanya, how do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years? Maksudnya dia expect apa? Dia expect kita macam, are you still with us by then ke apa maksud soalan tu? Dan how do we actually reply untuk soalan
tu? Selalu kita orang tanya macam dah hujung-hujung dekat session macam how to see yourself in so soalan ni memang soalan agak famous. Kalau sekarang hiring manager yang tak tahu tanya soalan ni, Google apa question to ask so ni antara contoh-contoh soalan standard lah. Okay, but normally what I do when we ask this question is actually to see two things. Number one, in how well do you plan your career, and to see how can the organization actually fits into your because untuk Israel ini, for example, when I bring you into the organization, I don't bring you into a job. I want to bring you for a career. How can the organization growth actually helps you to also achieve your career aspiration? So how you plan. And bila dah plan tu, the second thing that we will look is the realisticness in terms of your planning. So kalau you cakap 5 years I'm gonna be the vice president of this company, agak tak realistic lah. Kalau macam 5 years ni
nyampah terus tu.
I tak cakap it's not yang benda tu impossible. It's possible, tapi be a bit realistic. Probably 5 years to come, probably you are leading a small team, a senior executive leading a small team of people to achieve the organization mission. You can still be in leading position, for example, but tak adalah manager pun. Be a leader kita sewa answer lah. Kalau ditanya sekarang ni, kalau nak kasih tip, jarang orang tanya 10 tahun. Kalau macam fresh graduate ni, the trend that we're looking is that they won't be staying in job for long. Lepas 5 tahun dia orang move kot. I move, I and Iki, both of us have been moving from organization to organization after some time. Okay, it's not because kadang-kadang organization tu tak bagus, tak, but sometimes there are certain things that we're looking at, certain things that change in life that probably does not fit in the organization that we're in. So be realistic. This is where you need to do a bit of soul searching lah. This is where personal branding pun cukup, because company, diorang pun want you to be an engaged employee. So as much as they want their company success, they also want you as an employee to be a successful one. So the whole
Thank you, Sally, sangat membantu ya. So be realistic, that's a keyword. So ini mungkin nak tanya dengan Cik Airul lah. So mungkin ini memang bukanlah masalah, probably inilah yang cabaran yang kita hadapi bila kita baru grad, kita tak ada self confidence yang banyak juga. Probably kita tengok Puan Sally, Encik Airul, tengok Encik Azim, ya Allah, confidence-nya bercakap how I wish, mungkin di kepala semua yang melihat ni, how I wish I could be as good as them. Macam tu lah agaknya, because when you were younger, so kita taklah macam nak cakap takut dengan orang besar depan kita, HR manager lah, CEO lah. Sebenarnya confidence tu macam mana? Does it take years like this, or memang graduate je memang aku dah pandai cakap dah, so I can just macam tu je. So macam mana soalan-soalan yang mungkin Zahidah nak tanya kat sini, how do we build confidence? Probably Cik Aida boleh jawab sikit.
Okay, right. I guess your experience gives you a lot of will give you a lot of advantage in terms of building up that confidence level. So when you speak to your friends ataupun when you speak to your what do you call that, anybody outside and so on, I think that's very much help. For me personally, I think during the semester break, I suka cari kerja. I think one of the, I kerja Pamina, ITC Minyak, orang panggil Bangla lah, tak kisah kan. And then I work in but I know bila I kerja kat tempat tu, I tahu I nak dapat apa selain daripada real and sense. I think one of the semester break also, I go and kerja dekat this what do you call that, steakhouse dekat Jalan Ampang. That's basically give an exposure to communicate to the customers, cakap ataupun speaking with Mat Saleh, all this kind of thing, apart from the big tips that I usually get lah, kalau you entertain them very well, kan. So all this will help you to build up that confidence. Because in the end of the day, right, you have to understand dalam sebuah organisasi tu dia ada organisation hub juga. Tak semestinya everybody inside the organisation is included. Operation and HR is two different person. Operation and HR is two different mindset ataupun way of thinking, thought process. Same goes dengan quality ataupun engineering, maintenance and all that lah. So in the end of the day, it's back to the person who's gonna interview you. And how you are able to read that person is very important for you to build up your confidence during the interview session when you speak up. But the last thing that you want to do is to be afraid to even express your opinion ataupun express your thoughts and so on lah. Kalau macam contoh tadi kita ada tanya soalan tentang pasal gaji kan, berapa gaji yang perlu dapat. You absolutely jangan cakap tak kisahlah tuan, apa-apalah. Don't do that. You should know your worth. You should know your value. And you should give at least a range if you cannot give specific value to your sales. Sebab kalau you cakap tak kisahlah apa-apa dah, meaning that you don't want to show that you are desperate, you don't want to show that you are you're deeply in need. Because in the end of the day, itu tengok juga dekat market sekarang ni, whether on the supply and demand, berapa banyak ke, who's your competitor juga. Kalau macam you 4 flat student, you are gold medalist student, then yes, you have that value that you carry, you have the plus point that you carry. Tapi kalau you macam 2.5 ke, below 3 student ke, then you basically, you just go through that lah.
Okay. Thank you Cik Arul, very good tips there. And then ada soalan pada YouTube ni, dia tanya, Rafana Ismail, dia kata sebenarnya kalau ada what kind of achievement yang kita boleh letak dekat resume, kalau macam menang sports ke, boleh letak ke, adakah itu membantu resume kita untuk stand out? Siapa nak jawab? Buat Encik Azim ataupun Puan Sally ke? Boleh bagi idea
Puan
sikit.
Sally ni dia selalu tengok resume, saya jawab.
Pandai I think macam I cakap tadi lah, when we explain about what are the things that we put in your resume, letaklah benda tu. I don't mind you letak benda tu, sebab like I said, all those things that you put in your resume is pretty much like your personal branding juga. But you jangan list je. Let's say if you win, let's say if you play netball, for example, and you have represented your state in netball competition, put that in, but quantify your experience. If you are a netball player, you can put that, okay, in terms of achievement, manage to represent your state for that, because it does show your leadership ability. For example, it does show how you work hard to achieve those achievements. It does show you. Tapi jangan list je. You boleh list tapi you quantify those things. Macam kita cakap macam kerja kat let's say if I dulu kerja dekat Starbucks, for example, how I quantify my experience is, okay, when I work in Starbucks, I actually help to increase 5% of daily sales by introducing flyers or social media advertisement, for example. Quantify those. Tak ada kerja dalam dunia ni yang tak mendatangkan keuntungan. So kalau you buat benda kecil pun, tapi if you do it really well, those things actually show you who you are. Don't just list, quantify it. Right?
Okay.
Alright.
Soalan yang ni agak,
If I can just add something.
Boleh, silakan.
You definitely should write it as kalau you boleh jual benda tu. It's all about selling yourself during the interview. And if you enjoy playing football macam Anwar kan, you playing football and you were the captain, and that basically the set of skills that you are selling to that interviewer, that hey, I can lead a group of people. Hey, my colleagues, my peers, I'm able to manage them. So I'm okay to run shift, I'm okay to manage a group of operators and so on. As long as anything that sells you, letak.
Betul.
Yep.
Okay. Saya ambil daripada daripada kita punya ni, ada dua soalan ni mungkin. Satu ni basic je soalan dia, boleh pakai baju kurung ke during interview? Ke nampak tak formal? Ataupun pakai
Boleh pakai
kena pakai macam suit baru nampak okay, this is much more presentable than baju kurung. Okay. So, I hope that answers the question.
Perspektif dari seorang perempuan ya. I cakap dengan you, dua-dua job yang I dapat, dua-dua quite a multi organisation macam even Shah betul interview tu apa baju kurung je. Look, at the end of the day, baju kurung dekat Malaysia ni is considered as a formal ni, but make sure you wear presentable baju kurung lah. But I think rather than the type of baju that you wear, I think as perempuan, it's the colours that you choose for. It's probably more important. You jangan bright pink. Keep it formal still. The safest colour is always black, blue and grey. Kalau you datang pakai baju kurung merah, mungkin yelah banyak ong kan, it's probably a lucky colour, but you don't want to be remembered.
Hijau pucuk pisang ke ya?
You probably wouldn't want to be remembered as for the wrong reason. If we talk about first impression, for example, the amount of time that the person do get in order to form a first impression, the first 7 seconds, 7 second, first, itulah yang orang akan ingat pasal you. You don't want to be remembered for the person yang pakai baju, candidate yang pakai baju kurung merah makna tu. I mean, you will be remembered for the wrong reason lah. So, boleh pakai baju kurung, don't worry. I think that is still a very accepted formal for Malaysia. So, you don't need to wear suits or blazer. But what is important is prepare well before the interview.
Last question. Yeah.
Yep, hope that helps. Dari sudut lelaki, maybe my friends insecure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it helps.
I think in terms of lelaki punya attire, I mean benda tu is not tak susah pun sebenarnya kan, Syarul, sebab I think if you just like pakai kemeja and then you in the kemeja you pakai kasut, and I think that's enough already. But janganlah pakai baju tak ada collar kan, baju tak ada collar and then you just wear sneakers ke. So just show some familiarity there. Maybe not overdress pun tak apa. But at least we see you as a person yang memang get ready to interview. Tu je. Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. You already take more questions. Probably later we can drop your email probably so they can get in touch with you, your personal email ke, so they can ask questions on, if you don't mind. Nanti later you can share. Ada banyak soalan. Ada soalan tu 2 saja, tapi it requires, I would say, longer explanation. So I don't think we have that much of time. I'm sorry macam Cik Noreha dan juga siapa nama kat sini, Azul Haziq. So probably you can ask these questions later to the speakers, because we are wrapping up. So with the remaining probably 1.5 minutes, probably I would give around 30 seconds for you each to wrap up, and then what you want to really say to the future employee, maksudnya bakal pekerja yang bakal menggegar industri ini. Contohlah kan. So we have great talents here. We have great pool of talents from UiTM. Definitely UiTM always produces good talent. Probably apa lagi selain pada certificate, degree certificate or experience from internship, your personal branding, probably ialah sekadar nak merumuskan, probably in 30 seconds. Kita boleh start dengan Cik Airul dulu. Apa agak nak beritahu kat adik-adik kita ni?
Okay, alright. First of all, right, interview session may not something that a lot of hiring managers look forward to. It's just another 1.5 hours atau a painful session that it's a distraction to them to their current day-to-day work. We have to understand that. That's a fact. Unless you are recruiters, unless you are HR, memang normally that is part of your what do you call that? Your job scope ataupun job description. Yes. But for example, the production managers, you nak kena jalan lain, you nak kena tengok supervisors you and so on. And then bila interview session tu, kadang-kadang benda tu agak melecehkan lah. But so take that as an opportunity for you to make that session worthwhile for them. Because if they come to the interview, another interview, but then again, you impress them with your character, the way you sell yourself, the way you blend in, the way you read them, and the way you can relate, how things work out there versus and your value towards the company or to his or her team, you will be remembered by the hiring manager ataupun by the hiring person. So, show your character, show your value, sell whatever that you have in your limited experience, especially for graduates. You don't have much. So use your time to gain as much as experience by doing Grab, by work at the petrol kiosk ataupun in the restaurant. Go ahead, because that is what you get in terms of your working experience, rather than you are fall flat ataupun you are a gold medalist student, come up, but if you can't sell yourself, that would be just another document inside your file.
Okay, thank you very much Airul, Hikmah, for the very good tips. Kita ke ni, Puan Sally.
Alright, I think we already talk about all this preparation, interview, resume. So I think I'm not going to talk on that. But with this very few last minutes, apa yang I nak cakap is take all those opportunities. Bila you buat internship, choose an internship place that's good for you. Kalau you macam you nak kerja dengan TNT, for example, buatlah internship dengan TNT, because sometimes when you masuk internship kan, it's actually a way for you to be assessed. Sebab macam I kebanyakan staff baru yang I ambil are actually coming from internship program now, because the period that I use to assess them is actually longer than a 45 minutes interview. Yes. So kalau kalau you buat internship, buat betul-betul. Kalau you buat final year project that requires you to work with external stakeholders, do it. All these things actually help you to build your networking. Sekarang ni, I think networking is being used as a very loose term. Orang cakap pakai cable kan. It's really not about the cable, but knowing people, you actually get a good insight. Even soalan macam you tanya tadi pun, macam soalan, what kind of salary, you tak payah, kalau you tak ada info, mungkin you boleh buat study on the range. But kalau you ada, for example, kerja dekat TNB, ada dekat Azim, kalau I nak jadi manager sana, berapa gaji yang dia orang kasih? All these networking things, the people that you know actually helps you to need. So build your networking. Kalau you buat sesuatu, do it really well. Even kerja dekat Starbucks, those things will give you good opportunities. So learn from those experience, and those will build you a good personal branding for yourself that you can actually sell when you go for the interview. Right?
Personal branding and good internship adalah key-nya. Okay, terima kasih Puan Sally. Dan Encik Ahmad Azimuddin, silakan.
Okay, so terus kita dah habis sejam lebih kan, sejam setengah lebih. So I think dah banyak kot yang di-share daripada saudara Airul, Puan Sally, dan juga daripada saya sendiri. And I hope that all of us here dapatlah betapa sedikit sebanyak pengalaman daripada apa yang kita dah share kat sini. So actually tips yang I nak cakap pun maybe dia orang pun semua dah sentuh kebanyakan of that. So I think what the most important thing is you need to be kind, you need to be humble, and you need to be yourself. I think that's the most important thing actually, because whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, memang if you are not being yourself, then benda-benda tu akan nampak, dan it's not really a good impression on you lah kan. Okay, so macam yang saya lihat tadi kan, kalau dari segi internship tu buat betul, sebab I think dulu masa zaman yang kita ada internship apa semua tu, I think ramai juga yang kita tak ambil peluang daripada benda yang kita pergi internship tu kan. So nowadays zaman dah berubah, competition is very tight in terms of the COVID and everything, nak ambil kerja pun susah apa semua. So if you happen to get an interview, you need to celebrate it, because it's already small victory for you. Because untuk kita panggil you interview, it's not that easy. Kita akan shortlisted dulu siapa yang kita rasa ada potential, then baru. So actually bila you dapat that panggilan interview, you should be happy for yourself. You should celebrate small victory and make sure you give yourself a time to make a preparation towards that interview, because the preparation will always pay off when you face the interview session. Yeah, I always believe that bila kita interview orang tu, you already straight away can tahu prepare ke tak. It's always shown lah. Okay, so
dia menakutkan dengan HR manager ni, dia tahu dia somehow can read our mind kan, takut sikit dalam masa interview tu. Okay, thank you very much for all the panelists. Kita ada Cik Airul Hikmah Limin, Operation Director Kari Ingredients Malaysia Sdn Bhd, and alumni from Food Technology, and we had also Puan Sally Sholina Majini, Human Resource Officer from Sarawak Energy Berhad. She is an alumni of Applied Chemistry, BSAC. Okay, and last but not least, we have Encik Ahmad Azimuddin Ash'ari. He is currently a Human Resource Manager from TNB, Tenaga Nasional Berhad. Also graduated from Applied Chemistry. We are very thankful, very much delighted for having all of you here. I personally had learned a lot from you, and I believe that everyone also did. So this is the end of the session, and I would like to thank you again very much for your time and participation. I would like to thank also we have around 160 to 180 participants, registered and unregistered participants, joining us today and have never left webinar, despite some technical glitches that we were having. One or two just now, they are still with us sampai di penghujung yang. Sorry that we cannot pick more than the question that we did just now. Probably in the next session we can have, probably the longer time. And we have attendance link given, shared with you in the chat box. Please fill up the link. Only then we can give and email you your e-certificate. And thank you very much for your participation. Thank you for the high management also that are with us, Puan Rozana, dan semua yang ada di sini, Dr. Khairul, Dr. Khairul, and all the organizing committee. I will say job well done, and thank you very much for all speakers. Thank you. See you in the next time. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Sharul.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, all the
Thank you, Iki. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Azim. Nice to meet you.
Dr. Khairil.
Your speakers.
Thank you, Dr. Khairil and team.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you, Doctor.
Alright.
Thank you, Azim. Thank you, Sally. Nice meeting you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye, Sally. Okay. Bye, Rol.
Bye.